Flight boss, bitch. For sure. Listen to the mind of an Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. Now, this video right here is going to be about having to match energies if you want to get the outcome of something that's going in your favor. So something that you want, you have to match the energy of that thing that you want. Whether it's a circumstance, a situation, a position in life, a business, a career, a love matter, a family circumstance, or a siblingship or associationship, however the case may be, right? When we're trying to reach our goals that we start to develop, whatever that you're reaching towards, you have to match the energy. Now, what do I actually mean by that? We all have our own energies, so it's about matching it, and we may not have the full amount percentage scale of something, or we may have over the amount of percentage scale of something. So we have to learn how to do something in moderation before we look like that we're doing too much. So no matter how good we're doing something, it still can lead down a negative end, going too far with the energy that's overcompensating it. So for the most part, here's the thing. When we start to talk about matching energy, anything that you're trying to pursue, instead of participating with or analyzing the people, places, and things within it, because you'll find yourself low-key copying, especially individuals that you see maybe manifesting the things that you are expecting when you start to participate whatever you're getting into. So that ain't the thing to copy. You need to actually observe how whatever you're getting ready to get into was built in the first place, and it was built out of an energy and a percentage level scale at that, based upon certain amount of fire, passion, certain amount of water, connection, certain amount of air, intellect, certain amount of earth, practicality, what makes sense. And when you're able to observe that, you're able to see the ethernet of it. Now, the circumstance is going to play out in many different ways, and when you start to mimic that energy, right, match that energy, mimic that energy, that's you transforming the energy you already are and transmuting it to appear or look or come in the image to be like. But you're coming in the image of yourself to be like, not trying to be like something and lose your own image. And then you lose yourself into a goal that in the outcome, it may not have been for you, and you'll still be led to be unfulfilled. So to be on a God mission and to be fulfilled and still be doing the same thing, because it ain't what we doing, it's how we do it, is all about perspective spiritually before it comes down in the metaphysic, when you create it spiritually with the mind, and then physically it play in reverse as you actually getting a piece of that. So for the most part, when we start to talk about matching the energy, you want to match how the energy was created before any participants actually started to interact with it. So there's a few participants, like, gatekeepers and shadow, but that ain't the point. For an example, we know there's a shadow government that probably made football, but football was made in a certain energy. So if you're going to go there and play basketball, you're not going to win. So the more that you might see the little things within the laws of the football that you may disagree with, and you might want to bring some basketball laws there that may be more sufficient, right, because of a moral system, it may be Christianity or religion, then you may not be ready, because whatever you bring from another area may create blockages in that area that you're trying to participate in as a goal. And you may be confused that that's what you're doing based upon separating yourself from it with an expectation or negative morality or something like that don't have anything to do with how that energy was built. So when you bring in unwarranted energies to a structure that don't have that energy, a lot of times it can hold you back from fully experiencing whatever energy you're trying to participate in. So you can't look at things as good or bad from this perspective first. Then once you start to participate, you start to understand what's good and bad for you participating. That's the image. Because what's good or bad for you may not be good or bad for another individual. And your ability to obtain your position, you have to get out of what's good and bad from an objective point of view, and then start to experience what's good and bad for you. And then practice protection spells so it could go good and not go as bad, regardless of the good and bad for another individual, because y'all shouldn't all be participating with that energy in the first place. So if it's something that you want to do, it ain't got nothing to do with God or morality. It's got, you're going to do what you do. Thou will shall be done, or whatever the circumstance may be. So for the most part, that's based upon how they got the shadow government and things of that nature as far as survival mode. So matching the energy, you have to look how the energy is created in the first place based upon the goal before the participants, because that's what you're going to have to interact with in order to persevere. But when you look at the energy itself, you'll be able to see the flaws of the participants to be able to win the chess game anyway. So for the most part, here's the thing. Now, when you're looking at an energy and you start to understand it, you match it. You mimic the image of that energy so you could be like the energy itself. Then once you become the energy itself, you end up becoming a master in that territory, right? And then for the most part, there's a lot of different attributes you can go about based upon what kind of goals that you're reaching for. So keep that in mind also. So that's what you always want to do. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to a job, business, or even a love matter, right? There may be someone in a better position than you. So you may not have the actual physical objects, but the spirit world, that's not the point. The point is looking at whatever this individual is doing and match that energy. Therefore, you show possibility. You show potential. So therefore, with your added energy is always going to be teamwork makes the dream work. And if you're doing it for God in a sufficient manner, then you will become part of the energy and be able to have a piece of that percentage for yourself also. And that's how you find like-minded individuals too. So it's about matching energy. Anytime that you participating with your energy with another energy, via people, places, and things that doesn't match, then for the most part, you'll be having to take pieces from your energy to meet at an even ground. They'll be having to take energy from where they're going to meet at an even ground. And whenever that start to wear off based upon this even ground, that'll start to create lacking from where y'all are accumulating to bring something to the even ground, then for the most part, you're going to drift and separate and drift apart again. And then start to have to rebuild and accumulate with the things you was taking to meet at the middle grounds again. And you may not reach that circumstance because you may find individuals on that area that you was getting in when you was accumulating that match more of your energy. And then you may take a few circumstances of taking your energy, pearls, casting it amongst swine, energies that don't match yours, and you may have to go through a few mistakes in order for you to understand what it even looks like to match your energy based upon if you have validity issues, abandonment issues, or circumstances within life where you're just totally distracted, but in something that got something to do with this being productive for God. So when you do get a time for freedom and things of that nature and start to express yourself, sometimes you may make a few mistakes, but these experiences was well needed and beneficial because now you can adjust within your mind what it actually looks like when for energy to match you and for you to match your energy. And for you to be aware of the objective point of view of it. Something that can share your space and you can share its space via person, place, or thing.